Welcome back. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, over 380, or coming up on 380 cop stories. You're on the site now, so look them up. They're all my babies. A lot of naked people, a lot of gross alerts. The most popular are the gross alerts, because it's all vice. And in addition to that, over 200 question and answers. So we can cover that now. So if you ask me a question, you want to ask me one, email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com, and I'll answer your question, okay? So, personally, then we'll do it on video. The question came up, could you describe some unusual court cases? I just finished one, it's very unusual. This one's interesting. I want you to realize what happens in court, okay? You watch all these fancy cop shows, you know, CSI and all these stupid things, and then we'll go into some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, which is really strange in courtrooms, okay? And here's one of them. I work in a gang car, you know, I mean when I'm working, I'm in uniform in a plain car, and we're driving basically in gang spots to keep the gang members from killing each other and from killing you. That's basically what our function is. Although the ACLU will say we're just out there to harass people. Yeah, I know. There's 140,000 people in this division. I thought I'd just pick you two out because you're black. Oh, really? Since everybody else is black, why would I pick you? That's ridiculous. Okay, so anyway. So we're going down the street. I'll say the case quickly and I'll tell you what happened in court. Two guys are walking the sidewalk. It's nighttime, but there's street lights, you know, and there's people with lights. You can see. It's not pitch black. And I'm the pastor, and as I look over, they're walking, and we're coming up on the street like this. They're walking on the sidewalk. And they look over at us, okay? And and of course, my partner and I have been around a while. I go, they're going to run, they're going to run. And I crack the door, because I know they're going to run. And I see the guy nearest me, okay? His right hand goes like this. It flicks. Like he threw something, okay? And then they start walking faster. Of course, we jump out. By that time, we're already out of the car. My partner grabs the other guy, I grab this guy. We cuff him real quick, search him for weapons, no weapons. Then we're talking to them. They're gang members, so we start just talking to them. So as we're talking, I walk back to right about near where my car is, because I jumped out and chased the guy. I chased the guy like 10 feet, 20 feet. And there's a little jar of PCP, okay? It's worth about $100, maybe $150. It's it's a jar, but it's got a little, the PCP is liquid, it's about that much, maybe a quarter of an inch at the bottom. What they do with PCP, just to let you know, it's a horse tranquilizer to get high, and they'll crack the lid, get a brown cigarette called Sherms, regular cigarette, and they'll just tap the end of the cigarette and close the lid. The end of the cigarette, about this much is soaked in it, and they just light it, and they get high from that much. That little bit, they get high. So you can imagine how many doses are in this. Okay, probably, well, I don't know, 20 or 30. I don't use PCP, but you know, dip it in cigarettes. Obviously, after a while, you'll lose the liquid. Anyway, so that's what we had. Okay, now in other counties, I've talked to other officers. You get a conviction, you know, you get no problem. Well, in LA County, they want to see this. Check this out. They want to ensure that the officer saw the item leave his hand, fly in the air, and land where it landed, and then see what it is before you go get it. Okay? They want that specifically. So, you know that going in. So we arrest him. I write the report. And I say exactly on the report what I told you. Okay? That we saw him, his right hand go back as if to throw something. Some clear item came out of his hand, and it landed behind him, but I went up to detain him for officer safety, because we don't know what these guys have. They could have guns. He was detained, he was handcuffed, then I walked back and discovered it was a jar of PCP. I'm not going to lie, it's exactly what I saw. Okay. So the criteria for jury trials is what's reasonable. Would a reasonable person assume that guy threw the jar? That's the DA's opinion. So we just booked him. I told my sergeant exactly what I told you. I'm not going to lie about this. I didn't see it come out of his hand, because I've been in court before. They want to see which hand was it. Did you see it leave his hand? Did you see it in the air? What would it look like in the air? I'll tell you later how I answered that one. Okay, so okay, fine. So we book him. Okay, 2 weeks preliminary hearing. In West LA is a lady judge, real smart. She's up there. She's not a commissioner. She's a judge. So we have a preliminary hearing, and I tell them what I told you. Okay? Here comes the defense. Did you see it leave his hand? Yes. What did you see? I saw a clear item. I thought it was a jar. Well, you weren't sure. No, I was not sure. Did you see it leave his hand? Yes. After that, when did you see it next? Well, he knows the answer to that. I wrote it in the report. Okay? Saw it on the ground when I went back after I detained him. So you never saw it hit the ground? No. Did you identify it in the air? No. And you see, look, he's doing a little drama. Well, how do you know it was his? Well, the two gentlemen, he's the only one that made the throwing motion. Objection, Your Honor. He said, well, he answered the question. How did you think it was his? And the other guy, so the judge says, because it's a judge hearing, he looks at me and says, did the other gentleman make a throwing motion? No, Your Honor, just the defendant. He looks at the counselor. Okay, well, you're okay, fine. So, anything else? No, that's search and seizure. They want to see, they're trying to throw in smoke, which I could see kind of years later that it is kind of shaky in the eyes of a liberal to say maybe he didn't throw it. I don't know. I'm a cop. I don't even think that way. I think you make a throwing motion, I see something come out of your hand, it's yours. Okay, whatever I find, it's yours. Okay. So I thought, well, they're going to throw it out. I'm surprised it even got here because DAs read those reports and file the charges before it gets to court. But somebody thought it was pretty good. Okay, fine. So defense says, well, Your Honor, here's the defense. Well, Your Honor, he testified. Always say, remember, whenever it helps them, they always say the officer said. Okay? Officer said he didn't know what it was when it came out of his hand. He said, here it goes, he didn't see it come out of his hand. He didn't see it land. On his own words, Your Honor, his own words. Oh my God. Clarence Darrow? We're crying out loud? Okay. And went back and he found it, and miraculously he found a jar of PCP. What a coincidence. He'd find it there. And I'm thinking later, after my partner, I go, does he think I planted it? I don't know where I go buy PCP, let alone, I don't buy PCP, I seize it. Okay, anyway. So I'm going, okay, this is over. Here's the judge. She goes, well, counselor, she said, I've been doing this a long time, and the officer did say that the only person that made a throwing motion was your defendant. The other defendant didn't throw it. And I don't think there's a lot of jars of PCP laying around in the parkway of West Los Angeles. Because he was saying things like, somebody could have left it there, and he said, and the officer testified that in his opinion, the jar was worth about $150. I'm going, well, what's he getting to? He goes, so counselor, if someone had dropped $150 in that parkway, would it be there very long? Probably not. So if somebody dropped a jar of PCP an hour before your client got there, or half an hour before your client got there, an hour, 2 hours, somebody would have walked by and probably picked it up just out of curiosity what the heck this is. So just by coincidence, the officer sees the throwing motion and then doesn't see what's in the air, but knows it's in the general area, goes back and finds a jar, incidentally was dry to the touch because the grass was kind of wet. She says, I think he threw it. And I'm going, whoa, she goes, so I don't think there's a question here. Well, Your Honor, I'm bringing us in trial in front of a jury. Well, you know what? Yeah, you might be able to get that in front of a jury, but I don't think so. Because the officer's being honest. He didn't put in that report that, and he didn't say in his testimony that he made something up, that, that I saw it come out. He wrote in that report and testified that he really didn't see the entire flight of this item. Very, very honest about that, and looks at me, and I appreciate him being honest. Didn't have to make anything up. I'm going, why? Why? It was my job. I don't make stuff up, So I'm going to hold him to answer to the trial, to the charges. That was it. I went, oh. So never went to trial. They all just baloney, okay? I think I'm guessing out of 100 cases, you may get one that may go to trial. Maybe not even that many. Maybe 2 out of 500. Because I got tons of arrests. I made tons of subpoenas and tons of preliminary hearings. I'm talking about every day for like a year. Every other day for a year I had cases. 1 or 2 went to trial because they know they can't win them. And the ones that went to trial, I won. Or not I, but we won. The people won. You won, So that was interesting. So that's what goes on in there. Cross-examination, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Do I have time for another short one? I hope I do. Okay. So one day, I'm a detective now. I've been on about 15 years. And I'm in court on one of my cases. And in the courtrooms, there's people coming and going. They're attorneys. And I got a beard now. And I'm a narc. And I'm reading my report. So, 10:30, a DA comes out. He's looking around. I know it's a DA because they're usually clean cut versus the defenders that have beards and. And so he goes, excuse me, yes. I said, I'm District Attorney so-and-so, how you doing? He goes, you a detective? Because, they have that, I have that look. And I go, yeah, where do you work? Narcotics. He goes, oh, narcotics. He goes, I got a problem with this case. What's the matter? Oh, I got 2 young metropolitan officers here, and they wrote a really bad report. I'm afraid what's going to happen on the stand, and I need someone to testify as to the packaging of this particular item of narcotics. And they're not going to be able to do it because I have actually asked them, and they only have like 4 years on, and they've never done this before, and I might lose this case. Can you help me? I said, well, let me see the report. Because all I'm going to testify to is once they seize the package of narcotics, is I'm going to testify that the way they package it, the number and all that stuff, this is for sale, it's not for personal use. I think it was balloons of heroin. Okay, and a side note, people that use heroin, they only buy what they use. Okay, if they have a 2 balloon a day habit, they only buy 2 balloons. They don't store anything. Okay, they can't afford it. They're afraid someone's going to steal it. They're afraid they might shoot more than they actually need. They shoot when they need it. They'll feel the withdrawal, and that's when they shoot. So they don't want to shoot more than they have to because they know they could overdose. So they don't carry around 10 or 12 balloons on them, unless they're a dealer. This guy had like 15. Okay. So I go up and sit in the back of the room. They introduce me because I'm going to be a witness, and everybody's looking at me. The defense. Okay, fine. So the officer testifies. Young guy, uniform, looks great. Testified horrible. How many feet were you from him? I don't recall. Where was the car parked? I don't know. How many streetlights? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't recall. I'm not sure. That's not an answer. It's your arrest 2 weeks ago. Did you ever read the report? Oh my gosh, I'm sitting there in awe going, what was the color of his shirt? I don't remember. Was he wearing shoes? I don't know. I could have given cross-examination. This was simple. So anyway, so finally we got to the meat of it, which is basically, did he throw it? Did you see it? That's the bottom line, what you want to hear. But the defense is going to throw up all kinds of screens trying to make it sound like it wasn't even there. Okay? So I'm in the back room going, oh my gosh. Okay, so they get to where they found it, and then they went to their sergeant. They said, book it for possession for sale, and that's the end of it. Okay, so then the officer may get down, and the officer, man, he looked like there's a movie out with Arnold Schwarzenegger where the guy's standing there and Arnold's talking to him, and he got a bead of sweat rolling down the side of his face. I think it's Total Recall. Okay, yeah, he looked like he was beat because he was given horrible answers. It's obvious this officer did not review his report. His report. They're reading the cross-examination out of his report that he wrote. This is not, the defense didn't make this up like they always do. He's reading off the report. The guy can't answer the question. Okay, so I get up there. Who are you? How many years you got on? Are you court certified? Yes, I am. Are you an expert? Yes, I am. What courts? Blah 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 blah. Okay, fine. And I give my opinion. This is for sale only. But do you know the officers? No. Were you there at the arrest? No. So you just how did you get here? I'm in the hallway, and the district attorney asked me if I was an expert. And I said I was. Oh, Your Honor, it's a hired gun. A hired gun. You gonna pay me for this? Okay, okay. So anyway, that's his argument. I'm gonna palm up, okay, fine. So the judge didn't have any of it. He says, well, that the officer testified. He said the officer testified with the judge had a look on his face. The officer testified. They dropped it. I mean, you can see he was tired of this horrible testimony. He goes, and the expert came in. He cleaned it up, and wherever they got the narcotic officer is not relevant. Okay, you can subpoena him in court for the jury, and he can testify where he got there, and but okay, fine. So boom, it's over. So we get up to leave, and I see the 2 officers, and I go, you guys got a minute? They go, yeah, detective. They're all here. I said, I look around, nobody in the courtroom. I go, just a word of advice, guys. And I look at the one guy. I said, that was pretty embarrassing. He goes, yeah. I said, look, man, day before a trial or preliminary hearing, you got to get your report out, find it somewhere, and read it. Spend 15 minutes on your patrol time, read it. In the morning, get up, come here, have breakfast, read it. You see what he asked you? They're going to ask you the same ones every time. He goes, yeah, they asked me that last time. They're going to ask the same questions. Clothing, feet, location, car, everything. It's all going to be the same. But you got to read your report. And I look at his buddy. You want to do that? He goes, no, that was bad. I said, yeah, it is bad. I'm sorry, I'm not going to. He goes, wow. And he goes, how many years you have on? I said, I have 15. And you're a narc? I'm a detective. Oh, guys, thanks a lot, man. Thank you. I don't want you to be embarrassed again. That's horrible, guys. It really is. And you get to a jury trial, they're gonna bury you, man. They really are. Oh, thanks, man. They look down. I said, just telling you for a word of advice, man. I said, I'm not a sergeant or anything like that, but you got to work on this. You cannot allow yourself to be embarrassed like that. Okay, my goal when I started going to trials is not to look like an ass, okay, or an incompetent guy that you don't know what you're talking about. Remember, guys, it's your arrest. You did it. He used your report to cross-examine you. He goes, yeah, he did do that, didn't he? I said, yeah. So just thank you very much. Shook my hand. Thank you so much. Okay, well, good luck, guys. And they left. Okay, I went, you gotta learn, man. This is what we do for a living. This is what we do for a living. So I felt pretty good about that, though. Now, I wasn't talking down to him. I just said, just a word of advice from an older guy to a younger guy. Get your act together. Seriously. So I don't know what happened to those guys. I don't know. It's just another set of officers that I saw. Anyway, hope you enjoyed those 2 little small stories. See you next time.